All right, I am gonna do a little bit of a vlog here, which I don't really have a lot of experience in, but the thing is this. I just arrived in Canada on August 1st from Copenhagen, Denmark. I arrived here on August 1st, and it's the 5th of August right now. And I wanted to do this vlog because I just arrived in Canada, which is on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean in relation to my country of birth, which is Denmark. And I kind of wanted to document the experience because, you know, that's kind of like not something you get to do every day. So, yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about it. And I should say, for a little bit of background, I have a work permit from the working holiday work permit, which means I have an open work permit here in Canada. And I was pre-approved for that before I left, but I had to actually get the final work permit in the airport in Toronto. So the trip was kind of like a little bit scary because in principle they're still allowed to say like, no, you don't get the work permit. I mean, they're not going to do that if you have your papers in order, but just the fact that you don't have the final document yet, and they're actually going to make the final assessment in the airport after you paid a lot of money for a plane ticket and for an Airbnb and all that, and you've actually gone to the airport, sat there, and flown for like almost 9 hours. Then you're kind of like, damn, like sure as fuck hope that I'm not gonna be forced to fly back now and not use my Airbnb. So it is a pretty crazy thing, but I did get my work visa. I had to go through immigration when I got through the airport, but it was fine. I mean, the immigration officers are intimidating. They're supposed to be intimidating. So the way they ask the questions are like, so what are you doing here? What's your purpose? What are you doing in Canada? Why are you here? That is kind of the way they talk to me, but you just explain to them that you are here for the work visa and to work, and that you got your pre-approval and you got all your documents, and so I did that, and eventually he made the work permit, and then he told me how I could get my social insurance number, so he kind of became helpful afterwards. But I think they gotta scare you a little bit before they give you the work permit. That's just kind of the way it goes, I guess. If we're gonna go through a few pictures here, I think that might be kind of illustrative or illustrious. I don't know, something like that. But it's kind of shows my trip. So I went to the airport with my parents, as you can see here, and this is right before I went into the lounge because, this is right before I went through security and into the lounge where I was gonna eat my breakfast, and I was here with my parents. It was pretty, pretty cool. And then I went into the lounge and got some toast and some different things. This is because my dad is like a frequent flyer, and so I got some perks out of that. So I got to sit into this kind of luxury lounge at the airport of Copenhagen, and so that's pretty cool. But then at this point, I'm actually in the airport. I'm sitting there. I'm seeing like the sign that this is where I'm going. I'm going to Toronto, and it kind of like, this is the time where I really feel like, damn, I'm really doing this. And it's very exciting, but also sort of jarring, if you can say that. So there's me just sitting there, and this is when I'm going through the plane, and I'm about to board the plane. So then we're flying off, and you can see at this point we've just taken off from Copenhagen, and we got a long flight ahead of us. And then we get here, which is like, this is kind of a cool place because, normally, like, even in sort of boring places when people were flying, they sometimes want to take pictures of like the from the plane through the window, because it's like, yeah, I guess it's cool to see things from like from the sky. But this was a situation where I really felt like it was actually warranted, because we were flying over eastern Greenland here, and you can just see the cliffs and all of that, and it looks like something from Beyond the Wall in Game of Thrones, and it's just very cool. Like you can imagine the wildlings just like hiking around there and getting ready to climb that wall and fight some White Walkers, I guess. But you know, it really gave me those vibes, and it was very cool. I've never seen anything like that. You know, these frozen rivers, and it's just crazy. And then you can see, you know, beyond the cliffs, it's just pure white. And we flew over Greenland, obviously. So for a long time, when I looked out the window, it was just, you know, pure white, and the sun was shining a lot. So it was way too bright to even look out. Like it hurt in the eyes. But it's really beautiful, this part of it. And now you can see this picture, which I think is kind of cool, where I'm going from, we were almost landing in Toronto. You can see the whole flight, and you can kind of see my reflection there. So it's really, really awesome. And here I am in the airport, and it's like, damn, man, across the Atlantic Ocean. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. Here I am at Union Station, which is like the central station in Toronto. And I remember the first thing I noticed was these yellow traffic lights, and I was like, damn, that is so cool. You know, as a European who has been watching New York movies my whole life, and seeing those yellow traffic lights so many times, it's like seeing, like, I didn't know they had those in Toronto, so I was just like, damn, that's like from the movies, you know, the yellow traffic lights. It's like that sort of small thing just made me like really hyped to be here. And also just when I went grocery shopping afterwards, when it's like the cashier, she was like, do you want credit or do you want debit? And I was like, what the hell is the difference between credit and debit? I don't know. Well, I didn't say that, of course, but that's my inner world, you know. And so you know, I had to look on my card and be like, oh shit, I guess that's a debit card. But nobody in Europe asks you, is this a debit or credit card? Or at least not in Denmark. You know, they ask, do you want to pay with cash or credit? No, cash or card is what they ask you. They don't care if it's a credit card or a debit card, but these sorts of small things, just, they seem ridiculous, but for me, they just kind of like these small things that remind you that you're really somewhere else, just are kind of cool to me. And just seeing downtown Toronto from Union Station with these pictures, I mean, it's just incredible city. So anyway, I just got here, and I got my new bank account, my Canadian bank account. I got my phone number and my work permit, obviously, you know, all the good things that I need to set up. So it's gonna be quite the trip, I think. So I'm gonna try and maybe do more of these, but I at least wanted to just sort of remember the way it felt when I got here. So that's what this is.